directly from the students of Airwaves Media. Bringing you news in and around Alma High School. You're watching the Airedale.
Welcome to the Airedale. I'm Destiny Wheeler.
And I'm Gemini Shong.
Today we'll be talking about school choice, theater fundraiser, plus much more coming up on the Airedale. School choice is a hot topic right now, especially after the Arkansas Learns Act was enacted. Hunter Cole and Hunter Brewer looked into this with more detail.
In Alma schools, there is a program called the School Choice Program. This is where students from other school districts can go to Alma School District if they want to. We spoke to Superintendent Dr. Brian Duffy for more information about this awesome program.
The School Choice Program is sponsored by our state, and it allows families in other public school districts who don't live in a certain area to attend any public school in the area based on their interest.
This program allows students to come here if there is something here that they want to do but is not in their school. For example, it's possible for a student from Fort Smith who wanted to be a part of Alma's NJROTC to come here. The deadline for this is the 1st of May.
Well, how it can help Alma is that we may offer programs other schools don't offer, and some students may be interested in the programs we have, so they're allowed to choice here. And there's a deadline to do that by May 1, that they're allowed to choice to Alma to participate in programs that they like.
This is Hunter Cole and Hunter Brewer with Airwaves Media.
It's that time of year again. Fundraisers are going on all throughout the school, and the theater department has some tasty treats. Dane Barker and Levi Stringfellow have more.
Alma's theater department is currently running a fundraiser in which they are selling cookie dough.
This year our theater department is selling cookie dough, so Otis Spunkmeyer cookie dough in 12 different varieties. Each of them, they get 36 cookies in each order. The orders cost anywhere from $20 to $21.
One of the ways you can purchase cookie dough for a fundraiser is by visiting the online website.
Our students also have the ability to go online to a catalog that we have online, and they can purchase any number of items that's on sale in our catalog beyond just cookie dough.
In case you're concerned about what your money is going to be used for, we have someone to explain.
The money that we raise goes directly towards our thespian students, our drama club, so all of this money goes back to the students in some way. It helps pay for student travel expenses. We purchase all kinds of food for students throughout the year. Sometimes, the biggest meals come from our productions that we put on. We feed our cast and crew, so that money comes from that account. But really, in some way, all of that money goes directly back towards our theater students.
This has been Dane and Levi with Airwaves Media.
Deccan went to ICDC, or International Career Development Conference, this past April. ICDC is a competition where students learn more about business and marketing. Braden Pepis and Caden Daspit have more.
On Friday, April 21st, DECA, a club offered at Alma High School, will be flying from Alma to their annual International Career Development Conference in Orlando, Florida. Students have already had the opportunity to attend the state-level competition, and those who got top 3 in their competitive event get the chance to fly out and attend the international conference. They leave the 21st and will return the 26th. At this conference, students will get to compete in their respective events and will get to explore Orlando and Disney. The students in DECA are very excited about this year's conference and are ready to compete and win awards.
I'm the most excited to be able to communicate and meet state officers that I've gotten to connect with through digital media and actually get to speak to them face-to-face and collaborate and share ideas.
This is Braden Pepis and Caden Daspit with Airwaves Media.
The school year is coming to an end, and seniors are being awarded scholarships in a preparation for college. Evan Shibley has more on one-out scholarship opportunity offered through the Arts and Education Foundation.
On May 4th, Alma High School held the Senior Award Banquet in the Skokas Performing Arts Center, in which their scholarships were announced as well as the top scholars among the senior class of 2023. The Alma Education and Arts Foundation was established 21 years ago with the express purpose of encouraging seniors to further their education and aid them in that endeavor. Part of that money comes from the performances that occur at the Skokos and the profits from those shows.
That's the whole purpose why we have a professional season of entertainment here at the Skokas Performing Arts Center, and why we encourage the community to get involved in buying tickets, because it all goes to help the scholarship fund.
This year, there were 99 senior applicants, and the Alma Education and Arts Foundation awarded over $110,000 in scholarships to qualifying seniors. We are excited to see what the seniors will do with the scholarships that were awarded, and make sure you see the performances in the pack to support the seniors in the future. This is Evan Shibley with Airwaves Media.
Caden Thomas, a senior, received a large scholarship from his workplace. But what is it, and how did he get this cool scholarship? Gemini Shong has more to tell.
A few weeks ago, Caden Thomas, a senior at Alma High School, received a $20,000 scholarship from his workplace, KFC. I wanted to take a look into how he got this opportunity.
So pretty much if you work at KFC, then you can get like a scholarship if you work there and then you go to college. So pretty much they gave out two $20,000 scholarships this year, and then you like fill out a few things, and then for the $20,000 one, you have to fill out like a 600-word essay, and so I did that, and then me and someone in like Ohio received it.
And how does he feel about receiving such an award?
I was really surprised by it, but I feel really like thankful and like happy that I got the opportunity to receive it, because it was like really competitive and hard to receive.
I want to congratulate Caden Thomas for earning an amazing scholarship. I hope he uses his award to the best of his abilities. This is Gemini Shong from Airways Media. Sydney Atta is a semifinalist for a prestigious award only a small percentage of U.S. high school students have the opportunity to receive. Zachary Miller has more.
Sydney Atta has now been picked as a semifinalist in the U.S. Presidential Scholar. This award is different than a scholarship.
Okay, so the way I'd like to say it, it's not really a scholarship. It's called the Presidential Scholars Program, so it doesn't have any money. That's the difference between it.
Being a semifinalist is a big accomplishment.
But at the moment, I am a semifinalist in it, which means I am one of the top 628 graduates in the nation.
If Sydney becomes a finalist, that means she'll be top 160 in the U.S. for the class of 2023.
And those 160 finalists will get to go to the Washington, D.C., to the Capitol, and meet the President and the Secretary of Education.
This is a big honor for anybody to get, and Sydney is so excited that she has been selected for this award.
I don't really think that I'm going to feel badly if I don't end up being a finalist, because being a semifinalist is already amazing.
If Sydney does become a finalist and something big happens.
So if I end up becoming a finalist, then I will be able to talk in Washington, D.C. about career and technical education in Arkansas and in the nation as a whole.
I'm Zach Miller from Airways Media.
Cars are the #1 manner of transportation, and driving is an important skill to master. Sarah Nutt has tips on how to successfully take your driving test.
Learning to drive is an essential part of being a young adult. After all, it's the main way to get to places you need to be. Of course, after you learn how to operate a car, you need to prove you know how to drive and follow the rules of the road by taking a driver's test. The best thing to do is to stay calm. Don't overthink what you're doing, and trust your knowledge. Before you take your test, make sure you're prepared for everything.
To take the test, you need to be ready to do it. It's not just a take it and see what happens kind of deal. Try to be really prepared when you come up here to take it. We get a lot of people who come up here and are taking a test in a vehicle that they've never driven before. And that puts them at a big disadvantage, and it makes them uncomfortable, and they don't know how to use the controls, and then they get more nervous, and usually the test doesn't end very well.
Some more tips include: pay attention to everything. Know the vehicle you're driving. Adjust your mirrors and leave them there. Don't cross solid lines, and keep both hands on the wheel. And make sure you know how to parallel park, because that could be part of the test. I'm Sarah Nutt with Airwaves Media.
Prom is a big deal in high school. One of the biggest parts is great suits and dresses. Destiny Wheeler took a look in the free dresses offered for those in need.
Out of all the many events that Alma High School holds, prom is an event that many look forward to. From glimmering and shimmering disco balls to blasting music, prom is a night for all to remember, and everyone should get the chance to remember it. But what about the people who can't attend because they don't have the right attire? Well, many different organizations and people have donated suits and dresses for students who are unable to get their own. Several organizations, like Heritage Church, wanted to be able to give students a chance to participate in prom. It is completely free with no charge, and it is easy to get by talking to the counselors and letting them know that you would like one. My name's Destiny Wheeler with Airwaves Media.
Bullfighting has its roots way back to ancient Mesopotamia as a religious ceremony. This evolved into a sport popular in Spanish culture and has now found its roots as a staple in southern United States. Ben Mitchell highlights one Alma senior that rides and fights bulls.
This is Briar Cootie, a high school senior, bull rider, bullfighter, and a partial operator of his own family's business.
I've been riding bulls for 2 years, and I started bullfighting in February.
He also got into bullfighting and bull riding because of his father.
My dad, he used to ride bulls back in the 90s and stuff back in high school, and he's always telling stories about it, so I thought, why not give it a try and see where I can go with it, see if I can maybe go places with it or not. And then in February when I started bullfighting, just hopped out there, started messing around, seeing what I could do.
He's gotten injured quite a few times because of this choice, but he still keeps persevering despite that fact. Like a wounded bull, he just keeps getting back up.
The weekend before Thanksgiving, I was riding a bull and I popped a muscle in my abdomen and popped the groin muscle in my leg, and I was out since March. I was out for a long time. That's why I started fighting bulls, because I got bored of just sitting and watching. And it's like I gotta get in there and do something.
Did I mention that he helps run a business?
Go shop at Black Label Rosin.
All in all, the absolute beast that is Briar Cootie is quite the awesome one. And this has been Ben Mitchell with Airwaves Media.
Reading is an imperative part of everyone's education, and in the state of Arkansas, there is a reading initiative for student excellence, which is also known as RISE Arkansas. Peyton Phillips and Abigail Spencer take a further look into this promising program.
RISE Arkansas is a program devoted to encouraging children to read by incorporating different methods into school and home. RISE stands for Reading Initiative for Student Excellence. It was implemented in 2018 by the governor of Arkansas to improve Arkansas students' reading ability. But how does it help? We talked with Miss Jamie Balkman to find out.
RISE is an effort by our state to focus on literacy education and to improve the literacy of our citizens in our state. We have components of RISE all the way K through 12. So like in high school where you do the morphology in your English classes, that's part of the RISE component. To include at the state level, there is a RISE newsletter that comes out every month, and so our district newsletter also includes the link to the RISE newsletter. We have had access to writing some grants to purchase some materials. I've written 2 grants, and those 2 grants have been awarded over $350,000 to purchase materials K-12. So some of the new textbooks, the My Perspectives textbooks in the high school and middle school, and then the new EL materials at the elementary grades.
In this way, RISE Arkansas is a wonderful program that helps many students in Arkansas improve their reading abilities. This has been Peyton C. Phillips and Abigail R. Spencer for Airwaves Media.
Just past Crabtree RV is an incredible facility for older citizens of our community. Stetson Goodson took a look into this business that has been taking care of our senior citizens of their families of Alma for over 20 years.
Alma Nursing and Rehab has been around since 2001 and had its fair share of patients. But what does Alma Nursing and Rehab do?
Alma Nursing and Rehab is a 80-bed skilled facility. We have some long-term care beds and some short-term rehab beds.
George Ford says that there are many different types of people who reside in the center.
We employ about 90 people here, so there's a lot of staff that we need to manage and train and encourage to take good care of our residents. We have a lot of visitors, family members, so this is home to a lot of people. We just try to make it as enjoyable for our residents, patients, staff, visitors, and their family members as much as we possibly can.
There are many different types of patients admitted to the hospitals and nursing homes around the U.S., but what types are admitted to Alma Nursing and Rehab?
Different types of patients are admitted here. We really just try to meet the needs of every person, whatever their need is, physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. Some are here just on a short-term basis to try to recover from like a stroke or a knee replacement, or maybe they've had an accident or an injury of some sort. So we get them going and back home again. Some are not able to care for themselves any longer in their homes, so they come here for us to care for them.
This has been Stetson Goodson from Airwaves Media reporting on Alma Nursing and Rehab.
Airwaves went to the Arkansas Scholastic Press Association content in Fayetteville. While there, Stetson Goodson and Sarah Nutt highlighted an organization called the Music Education Initiative that has an interesting art exhibit inside the Pryor Center.
Walk to the main entrance of the Fayetteville Pryor Center, you might notice a small but eye-catching place to your left. That place is called BC Blues Shack, and it's an art exhibit backed by the Music Education Initiative. Orson Weems explains more on what it's all about.
I'm the Executive Director of the Music Education Initiative, and welcome to BC's Blues Shack, what we call the Juke Joint exhibit, a project. This is an exhibit that we placed here in Northwest Arkansas at the Pryor Center to host this exhibit, which was in the Clinton Presidential Library in Little Rock, Arkansas. And when COVID shut things down, a lot of people hadn't seen this exhibit. But after COVID opened up things a little more, this exhibit was still in the Clinton Library, but other exhibits had already been scheduled to come into the Clinton Library, so this one had to go somewhere. And we were able to get it and bring it here to Northwest Arkansas. And what this is a replica of a Delta Juke Joint. And a Delta Juke Joint is a building that was used for Black people to have experiences of music entertainment. They could also use it for a community gathering place, all types of different music, but preferably and most famously this is where the blues was born. Yes. Our mission is to engage, elevate, educate, and prepare the next generation of professionals in the business of music and entertainment. And what that means is we want to expose a younger generation or job seekers on career opportunities in music, entertainment, and live events. So this would be a part of what the Music Education Initiative does, such as an exhibit. This is an exhibit itself, and this is an exhibit with some like antique chairs, the original, certain parts of these posters that you'll see once you go inside and take a picture of it. It's to share with the community so that we can have community engagement, to tell people what a juke joint is.
Orson Weems encourages you to learn more about the Music Education Initiative and contact him for more information and spread the word of the project. This has been Sarah Nutt and Stetson Goodson from Alma High School.
Over spring breaks, students from AHS traveled abroad to see more historical sites. Joshua Wagley has more on this fun and educational trip across the Atlantic Ocean.
Every spring break, the Alma School District likes to give students an opportunity to visit another country, to show students how the world works. For this recent spring break, the students' trip took them around Italy. On the Italy trip, there were 21 students that went with some adults from the Alma community. This was a 10-day trip around Italy. Here is Miss Parker, one of the advisors for the trip, explaining what they did on this trip.
From Atlanta, we landed in Rome, and then from there we boarded a bus and drove 2.5 hours to Assisi, which is like a little bitty small town right on a big hillside in Italy. It's so beautiful. And then we stayed there for 2 days, and then we drove 2.5 hours to Florence. And while we were there, we got to see Michelangelo's David, and we got to walk around and see the Duomo. And then from there, we drove 2.5 hours to Rome, and we stayed there for 2 days. We went to the Vatican, we saw the Colosseum. We walked through the Roman Forum and saw where Julius Caesar was cremated. And so we had great 2 days there. And then we drove 3 hours down to Pompeii. And we spent the day walking through the ruins of Pompeii and learning about the volcanic explosion. And then we went to the island of Capri and we toured there for a day and then came back home from Rome.
The next trip is still being planned, but is said to take place in Europe. But that is for the future. For now, I am Joshua Wagley for Airways Media.
AI is an incredible advance in technology. ChatGPT is a software platform that can potentially assist with so many different things in life. Michael Farrell has more.
In the world of artificial intelligence, the ChatGPT language model has made significant strides in recent years. ChatGPT is an extensive language model developed by OpenAI, designed to generate human-like responses to written text prompts. To learn more about the advancements of ChatGPT, we spoke with Mr. Evan Merritt, our computer science and physics teacher here at Alma, who is very familiar with the use cases for ChatGPT and other similar AI programs.
So, ChatGPT is sort of a natural language model, and what they mean by that, whenever I say that, is that it takes in what the text that you put into it and then processes that text to find information that it needs. Here's what I'll tell you, it's sort of the same thing that it's always been with cheating. You could go and find code snippets on the internet. Right. You couldn't necessarily find exactly what you were looking for on the internet. Now, ChatGPT is capable of programming simple level, programs like what I might ask in a beginner level class, right?
As Mr. Merritt highlights, the advancements in AI technology are rapidly changing the way we interact with machines and the services that they provide.
I had it write some physics questions, and we actually talked about this in my physics class. I had it write some physics questions, and one of the things that it did whenever it tried to answer them is it used the wrong constant whenever it was doing the math, and so it would output incorrect information. Right? I will tell you that I have tried it on questions that I have wrote myself, so it's not like I went and found questions on the internet. I've written these questions. It will pretty much get them right.
In conclusion, the ChatGPT language model has come a long way since its inception, significantly improving its capabilities and real-world applications. With its continued development and advancement, ChatGPT is poised to revolutionize how we interact with artificial intelligence and transform the world of customer service and beyond. It should be known that this entire story was written by ChatGPT, including this tag. From its humble beginnings to its meteoric rise, ChatGPT proves that even machines can master the art of conversation. This has been Michael Farrell with Airways Media, signing off.
In order to participate in athletic programs, students must take a physical exam to ensure that they're physically capable to handle the activities. Jace Coleman took a deeper look into this.
To be in any kind of sport, you need to have a physical on record. It doesn't matter if it's football, basketball, or soccer.
Why would they need physical? So in order to participate in any kind of extracurricular activities in any public school system, and private for that matter, you must pass a physical examination given by a doctor. That's on a yearly basis, so once you do it, it's good for 1 year, but each and every year you do have to pass a physical in order to play extracurricular activities.
Even if you had an injury, the physical will still be good. The physical on record is always good for 1 year. No more, no less.
No, not necessarily. They'll just need to get released. If they go see a doctor, whether a personal doctor or we refer them to a doctor, our team doctor, they would just need to be checked out by them. If it is something that holds them out of the activity for a certain amount of time, they will have to be released by that doctor. But the same physical that they took however many months ago will still be good for 1 year.
From Airwaves Media, I am Jace Coleman.
A few weeks ago, Alma School District named the track and field after a retired coach for his hard work and dedication to his students. Cole Howard and Joseph Lynn took a deeper look into this topic.
Coach McMurray began his career with the Alma School District, coaching both football and track in 1982. Tom McMurray retired from coaching in 2014 and became a social studies teacher until 2021.
To quote Dr. Mike McSpadden, he's been a part of football state championships, track state championships, and multiple conference championships, but his legacy is establishing relationships with players. There's never been a player that played for Tom and didn't know that Tom loved him. Longtime former athletic director, Dr. Mike McSpadden.
Tom McMurray had 2 runner-up finishes in 2007 and 2008, and his boys team won 9 conference championships and 3 state titles in 2004, 2005, and 2009.
Tom worked extremely hard, was always really organized, was a great coach from a technical standpoint of just the events in track. You always knew that our kids were going to be extremely well coached because we were not always the biggest, the fastest, the strongest, but we always were the best coached when we went to those conference and state track meets.
Tom McMurray was named the 2003 and 2004 State Track Coach of the Year and 5A West Coach of the Year. Because of his achievements, the Alma Track and Alma Field have been named in Coach McMurray's honor.
Tom was an outstanding coach, and he did a lot of great things right here at this track facility. But I want you to know, Tom McMurray was an outstanding teacher. You didn't have to worry about Tom. You had students that wanted to be in his class. When he walked in the classroom and started teaching social studies, that was the single most important thing to his day.
This is Cole Howard and Joseph Lynn from Airways Media.
Thanks for watching this episode of The Airedale.
Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and make sure to follow us on social media at Airways Media.
And as always, go Airedales!